Ahoy there, pirates! Amir, or One Falcon, here from Rare Thief. World events have long tempted pirates to their ominous clouds with the promise of great riches. But, while larger crews can coordinate and quickly vanquish these world events, smaller crews can easily be overwhelmed and overpowered by the challenge they present. However, with the latest Season 9 changes to every world event, a pirate in any crew size, big or small, will have an equal chance of conquering one during their next adventure. In this video, we'll go over all the significant changes to each world event in Season 9, one by one, starting with the original, the Skeleton Fort. Before diving into the changes to the Skeleton Waves, the Skeleton Captains, and the Skeleton Lords, let's first check out the changes to the actual fort and the world event structure. Skeleton Forts now have 13 waves, with the lone Skeleton Captain wave removed. So now, you only have the Ashen Guardian, the Ashen Keymaster, and the Skeleton Lord to defeat. The cannon skeletons that guard the fort will now despawn automatically when a crew docks near the Skeleton Fort. The cannon skeletons won't return until 15 minutes after all pirates and ships have left the fort's vicinity, so no more having to kill them all over again when your whole crew gets sent to the Ferry of the Damned at once. And finally, you will find more food and resource barrels around the fort, an extra ammo crate, and a weapon chest. Now that we have the fort changes out of the way, let's go over the skeleton waves. The number of skeletons you fight per wave now dynamically scales to the number of pirates taking part in the world event. Not only is the number of skeletons per wave dependent on the number of pirates, but so is each skeleton's health and damage. So, smaller crews can expect to fight weaker skeletons with less health. If someone leaves or joins the fight, the next wave will adjust to the new number of pirates. And all crew sizes can expect to fight fewer gold, plant, and shadow skeletons. So, how about those skeleton captains? As mentioned, the lone skeleton captain is gone, so that's one less wave to fight. And as for the Ashen Guardian and Ashen Keymaster, well, they will now only wield a blunderbuss instead of a pistol. Alright, on to the big bad. Skeleton Lords now wield a cutlass and pistol instead of two firearms. You can also expect the Skeleton Lords to summon more frequently, teleport further away, and use their knockback attack more often. Another major change is that the Skeleton Lords no longer eat bananas, meaning they will no longer regain health during the battle. And the most important change is the damage pirates do to the Skeleton Lord will now scale to the number of pirates in the battle. So, if you take on a Skeleton Lord all by yourself, you'll do more damage than if you were in a crew of 4. So effectively, the single pirate can now take down a Skeleton Lord just as quickly as a group of 4 pirates. This change to damage should make the experience feel the same, length and difficulty, for all crew sizes. With the most noteworthy Skeleton Fort changes covered, let's move on to the Fort of Fortune. Like regular Skeleton Forts, you can expect to find more fruit and resource barrels, an extra ammo crate, and a weapon chest. The cannon skeletons will also despawn here when a crew reaches the fort. While loot piles for all world events remains unchanged, regardless of crew size, the Fort of Fortune does have a few new goodies for everyone to enjoy, including the elusive Chest of Fortune and a humble or generous gift. With those changes covered, let's get into the skeleton waves. Like skeleton forts, the number of skeletons that spawn for each wave is now based on the number of pirates fighting at the fort. This will make it much easier for smaller crews to conquer the fort. In addition, the health of each skeleton and damage output will also scale to the number of pirates. But that's not all. Each wave will now have various skeleton types to defeat. It's even possible to fight every variant, bone, gold, leaf, and shadow in one wave. So that's about it for the skeletons. As for the skeleton captains, the only change you will notice is fewer of them. So expect to fight only a couple skeleton captain waves during your battle. Alright, now the skeleton lords. They're gone. Yes, no more skeleton lords. Instead, you will fight Ashen skeleton captains. This change is huge and will significantly speed up the world event. And finally, the final wave, the mighty Ashen Lord. The Ashen Lord at the Fort of Fortune has seen the same changes as the Ashen Lord world event. So, you can expect the Ashen Lord's difficulty to scale based on the number of pirates at the fort. With the Ashen Lord adapting to the number of pirates, solo crews will have a much easier time taking down the final wave. We'll cover all the specific changes to the Ashen Lord when we cover the Ashen Lord world event right now. First, the damage pirates can do to an Ashen Lord scales to the number of pirates taking part in the fight. smaller crews will find that they can complete the encounter much quicker than before, as they can effectively take one down as fast as a crew of 4 with the extra damage. The rest of the Ashen Lord changes involve their special attacks, which we will break down individually, starting with the summon attack. The number of summoned skeletons is now based on the number of pirates fighting, making it easier for smaller crews to clear a path to the Ashen Lord. In addition, the health of each skeleton will now also scale to the number of pirates. Next, the Fire Breath attack. You'll need to be more careful the next time you see an Ashen Lord start spewing fire. The Fire Breath attack is more effective now with a broader reach and more powerful flame. While the Fire Breath attack might be more robust, the knockback attack is weaker, causing less damage and a smaller reach for setting pirates on fire. Okay, onto the lunge attack. The Ashen Lord's mighty lunge attack will no longer continue to track pirates after the lunge. Instead of curving towards its target, the Ashen Lord will lunge in a straight line, making it easier to dodge. And still, if the Ashen Lord manages to hit you, you can expect to take less damage. Next are the Ashen Lord's melee attack and rock throw attacks, which both do less damage now. And finally, the infamous Roar of the Devil attack. While this remains the most devastating Ashen Lord attack, the falling rocks will now do less damage, giving you more wiggle room during the fight. With that world event covered, let's get into the most important Fort of the Damned changes. Like the other forts, the physical fort has changed, making it easier to find more fruit, an extra ammo crate, and a weapon chest. Now on to the Shadows of Fate waves. Firstly, the number of Shadows of Fate you fight each wave dynamically scales to the number of pirates storming the fort. If someone joins and leaves in the middle of the fight, the next wave will adjust to the new number of pirates. So, you can expect to fight fewer Shadows of Fate with a small group, and more Shadows of Fate with a larger group. Not only does the number of Shadows of Fate change depending on the number of pirates, so does their health. So, you can expect to kill the Shadows of Fate quicker if you play with fewer pirates. You can also expect to fight only one color of Shadows of Fate per wave, instead of a mix of colors. This change is for all crew sizes. Alright, on to the Captain waves. Wait, Captain waves? Yes. Previously, there were only Shadow of Fate waves and the final wave with the Ghost of Greymarrow. Now, you will encounter 2 waves of Shadow Captains. The number of Shadow Captains that spawns depends on the number of pirates at the Fort of the Damned. Expect to fight 2 to 5 Shadow Captains on the 7th and 14th waves. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, the Ghost of Greymarrow changes. Like other Skeleton Lords, the damage pirates do to the Ghost of Greymarrow scales to the number of pirates actively engaged in the fight. So, if you take on the Ghost of Greymarrow by yourself, you will do more damage than if you were in a crew of 4, making the time to kill Greymarrow about the same for everyone. The number of Shadows of Fate the Ghost of Greymarrow spawns also depends on the number of pirates fighting. With these changes, we were able to solo the Ghost of Greymarrow on foot with just our blunderbuss. Usually, we would lead him down to the dock and use our ship's cannons on him, but this wasn't necessary as a solo pirate. With the land-based world events out of the way, it's time to turn our attention to the sea with the Skeleton Fleet world event. The Skeleton Fleet battle area has increased, so expect the skeleton ships to chase you for longer stretches. You will also notice that the time between waves has increased, giving you more time to collect treasure and supplies. You'll need the extra time as the galleon skeleton ships now drop 2 storage crates when sunk. Most importantly, the number and types of ships you face will scale to the number of pirates taking part in the battle. For example, a solo sloop will face 1 skeleton ship per wave, a duo sloop can face 2 skeleton ships per wave, and a galleon could fight 2 galleon skeleton ships at once. Alright, so what about those curses? Skeleton ships will no longer use green cursed cannonballs, and fewer purple cursed cannonballs throughout the battle. The firing rate for regular cannonballs will also scale to the number of pirates in the battle, so you can expect the skeleton ship to fire less frequently at a small crew, instead of more consistently on a large crew. Luckily, the skeletons aboard the skeleton ships during the world event also have less health and will repair their ship less frequently. Their inability to repair quickly should allow you to sink them quicker. And that about covers all the changes you need to know to fight smarter and faster at each world event. If you have any questions, comments, or fun stories from a world event, be sure to leave a comment below. See you on the sea, pirates!